Hello, this is Minder Chen. This is part of the entrepreneurship video series, and this is the second installment of McDonald's regarding the history of how McDonald's or McDonald Corporation has founded. And last time we mentioned that a multi-mixers for making milkshakes sales managers, Ray Kroc, somehow found that a small restaurant in San Bernardino, California, has ordered 6 or 8 multi-mixers, and he was quite curious how could that be, and paid the two brothers a visit, and was so impressed by the two brothers' so-called speedy service system, the so-called speedy service systems. And so the next day after his visit, he came back and tried to convince the two brothers, Mac McDonald and Dick McDonald. This is actually a picture from the movie called The Founders, and try to convince them to franchise the restaurant. In fact, the two brothers had developed a few franchise restaurants, about 6 of them, I believe, before this event. And however, the operation of those franchise stores were not actually as smooth as they liked to see, because some of the store did not follow their kind of a streamlined, simple menu items and approach. So they had no ambitions in expanding the business, because their own store was doing great and they were making very, very decent money out of it. And Ray Kroc is always looking for something big, so he came back and convinced these two brothers to just let him manage the franchising operation for them. And the franchise fee at that time was $9.50. That were paid to Ray Kroc, and the franchisors would need to pay 1.9% of their gross sales, and 0.5% out of it were paid to the McDonald brothers, and Ray Kroc would take 1.4% out of that 1.9%. And Ray Kroc built actually the first franchise store by himself in this plant, Illinois, outside Chicago, and that featured the same low price, was limited menu and rapid service based on the speedy service systems. The store was opened in April 1955. I believe this store now has become the McDonald Museum. Ray Kroc used the mottos that is quality, service, cleanness, and value. He is pretty obsessed with the cleanness of the store, and he was once quoted to say something like, "If you have time to lean, you have time to clean," to his employee. And consistency is very important for the franchised business. And this is a picture of Ray Kroc, I believe, holding a broom to kind of pretend that he's going to clean the store. So we mentioned that Ray Kroc got 1.5%, McDonald got 0.5%, and he sold 18 franchises in a year, in the first year. But his accountant one time told him that they're not making enough money. They're actually losing money just because the 1.54% he's getting out of the gross sales of each of the franchise store was not enough to cover his expense in managing those franchise store. So, according to the movie, the founders, he met someone called Harry. I believe it's Harry Sonnenberg. And here's the financial guy. Harry pretty much was quoted to tell Ray Kroc and say, you're not in the burger business, you are in the real estate business. And Harry Sonnenberg later became the first and the only president of McDonald's offshoot called Franchise Realty Corporation to manage the real estate business for McDonald's in the early day. So even nowadays, McDonald's built its empires on real estate as much as food sales. And the franchise realty corporations acts as a landlord who would purchase the land, build the store, and then lease to the eager franchisees. And with this approach, McDonald's began to generate real income, and the corporation took off. And also because of that, the McDonald's Corporation has much stronger influence to its franchisees, and also Ray Kroc, because he technically owned the franchise realty corporations, or kind of have more control over the franchise systems and those franchisees more than the McDonald brothers. Harry Sonnenberg served as McDonald's Corporation's CFO and then the president until 1967. And today, McDonald is one of the largest real estate holders in the world. In the movie, in fact, McDonald focused very much on the family. He was kind of pitching to his potential franchisees and employees, those store managers, that family is the key to McDonald's success. So he was quoted saying something like McDonald is the family. In 1961, after some conflicts and fighting between the two brothers and Ray Kroc, and finally Ray Kroc managed to bought the business in the right a McDonald's name from the two brothers was $2.6 million, and that's a lot of money in 1961. And Ray Kroc has the sole control of the McDonald, and the company's name was changed to McDonald's Corporation, and he was considered the founder of the McDonald Corporations. But certainly the history has shown here the Mac and Dick McDonald's, the two brothers, were the true founder of McDonald's as we know it. In the discussion of the negotiation of the sales of McDonald's to Ray Kroc, the two brothers was asking for 0.5 perpetual royalty of the future McDonald's proceeds, which is its sales, and Ray Kroc kind of convinced the two brothers to not to put it on the final deal, the written contract of the final deal, but made a handshake deal to promise to pay them. However, Ray Kroc never paid the brothers this 0.5% royalty. Remember, this is the perpetual royalty, which will last forever. And if there's a clause in the written contract, it will worth in 2016 it will worth 100 million US dollars. That's a lot of money, but certainly the size of McDonald and the growth of McDonald in hindsight, if in 1961 nobody probably can imagine McDonald's to grow to the size of today. Probably not even Ray Kroc. This is in the movie, that handshake kind of agreement. So a lesson learned, make sure you have everything in the written contract, and at least it's easier to enforce. One of the last scene in the movie is that one of the brothers kind of asked Ray Kroc and just say, why you're spend this much money? And remember, $2.7 million in 1961 is a lot of money. And why you're buying the McDonald's from us was $2.7 million. And then, by the way, the two brothers split the money, and after tax, each one of them is getting $1 million. And because this is Dick McDonald, he kind of say, well, I mean, we show you how our speedy service system was done, and anybody have seen it, and we actually show a lot of people. You were the only one that's kind of aggressively pursue the franchising operation for McDonald's, and you can do it without us, because the system to some extent is not patented, and so Ray Kroc kind of say, yeah, there's a reason I'm buying it. And Dick in the movie was quoted to say that, say, enlighten me, which means just tell me. I'm very curious to know why. And so Ray's answer is not just the system, Dick. It is the name, the glorious name, McDonald. He was quoted to say, at least in the movie, and say, I mean, if I name the restaurant Kroc, and nobody want to go to a restaurant called Kroc. Let's go to Kroc. But McDonald is a very kind of American-like name for some reason. And you can actually, I think, found on YouTube a segment of this in the movie about this encounter. So the success of Ray Kroc may contribute to that he understood the power of branding, the advantages of franchising, and the traction of speed in food retailing or food service. And today, you as a franchisee will pay an initial franchise fee of $48,000 directly to McDonald's, the franchisor. And the other costs go to suppliers, so this is only a one-time upfront fee you pay to McDonald's. Then you will go through a rigorous 9 months training period. You will learn about McDonald's way of doing business, things like their standard for quality, service, value, formula, specification for your menus, item, and their methods of operation, inventory control, etc. You will pay McDonald's an ongoing monthly royalty fee of 4%. Remember, in the early day, this was 1.9% of the sales. And nowadays, you pay either a flat-based rent or percentage of rent, which is of at least 8.5% of your sales. So McDonald's not only make 4% out of your gross sales, but also make money out of the rent of the store, property, the restaurant, which can be up to another 8.5% or more of your sales. That's how McDonald's make money. According to an article called "What is Franchising" by Robert Gepper, estimated there are over 2,500 franchised systems in the United States, and which has over 600,000 units, different kinds of store from various franchising systems. And this comes out to about 3.2% of all business and 35% of all retail and service revenue in the United States. The biggest advantage of franchising appear to be the reductions of risk you'll be taking for your investment, because like McDonald's and other franchised store or business, they kind of has been proven to be at least successful in the marketplace. However, this is just my opinion. I think it's an important one that there are some intrinsic conflicts in the franchise kind of systems. First is standard or standardization versus innovation. For instance, like McDonald's, when they try to grow, they need to maintain a delicate balancing act. On one hand, try to impose rigorous system-wide standard, while encourage an entrepreneurial spirit some of their franchised owners to come up with new ideas. And certainly the headquarter have to conduct research to come up with new ideas, new menu item, new way of serve the customer as well. And in terms of McDonald's, one of the conflict is choices versus speed. If you have more choices, the operation becomes much more complicated. That will slow you down. And so that's why McDonald's started with fewer menu items. I believe only 9 of them in order to achieve the speed they are aiming for. McDonald's corporations certainly need to look after its profit, but at the same time, if they take more percentage from the franchisee, and then nobody will have interest to join McDonald's as a franchisee. So you need to kind of a balance between the profit for the franchisee and the profit for the McDonald Corporation. If you take too much money out of franchisee, then the franchisee's owner is not making money. They are not going to join you down the road. McDonald also owns some of the stores that technically are competing with franchised store. So they need to be careful in terms of how the percentage of the corporate-owned store versus the franchised store. And another intrinsic conflict is that the offerings on McDonald's, whether they want to pursue a tasty food, certainly people like that, but at the same time, people become more conscious about their health, and they like to have healthier food even when they go out to the restaurant. McDonald's is very good in terms of marketing, branding. As example, that one of the franchisees in Washington D.C. Decided to kind of target kids for their advertisement, and they eventually created the Ronald McDonald's mascot to kind of attract kids to the restaurant, which later sort of became the mascot for the McDonald Corporation. And Willie Scott, pretty well-known television announcer, was hired to represent the Ronald McDonald. I believe at least the voice of the Ronald McDonald. Over time, you can see that McDonald's restaurants started to add more menu items. And like in '62, they added filet of fish, and '68 the Big Mac. That's still very popular now. In 68 also have hot apple pie, egg muffin later, quarter pounders, chicken McNugget. 87 they add salad. And in 2010 they added McCafe real fruit smoothie. Some of this addition was started first by some of the franchisees, franchise store, and then later being standardized. McDonald's certainly has its own research unit, constantly try to refine or develop existing menu items or develop new menu items. However, if you keep adding menu items, then the choices become certainly more. However, it may affect the speed of the food service, and that's where the balancing act has to occur. and McDonald's is going for healthier menu items, and also deployed information technology. And in this case, people are using a large screen kiosk in placing orders, kind of do-it-yourself, so you can reduce the restaurant's order taking operation by asking the customer to place the order through this kiosk. I believe they probably have, if not yet, they probably have a kind of mobile app which allow you to place orders through your smartphone even before you arrive to the restaurant. There's some recent news from McDonald's. The CEO, Steve Easterbrook from Britain, who took over in March 2015, has done the following. One is streamlined a bloated menu, as we kind of discussed. McDonald's in the US has grown to almost 200 items. So they ditched sandwich wraps and offer one type of quarter pounder with cheese rather than four. They offer healthier menu. They took high fructose corn syrups out of the buns, and they removed artificial preservatives from the chicken nugget, McNugget. They also plan to lift the share of the franchise restaurant to higher percentage from 83% to 95%. So basically the corporate-owned franchise store are much less. And I guess there's still some benefit to keep the corporate-owned store, because you could experiment some of the innovations through the corporate-owned store before you roll it out to the franchised store, because you have more control or influence over the corporate-owned store. And McDonald's also sold about 1,750 struggling company-owned outlet in China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan to various consortiums. They still retained about 20% of the stake, at least that's in Hong Kong. There's some trivia. At the end of 2016, there are about 36,900 McDonald's stores. The total revenue is $24.6 billion. The total asset is $31 billion. McDonald's is the world's second largest private employers, with actually 1.5 million workers working for McDonald's Corporation or its franchisees. Just second behind Walmart, which has 1.9 employees. 1 in 8 Americans has worked for McDonald's, maybe part-time, etc. In their life. According to a recent survey, McDonald's golden arches are now the more recognizable around the world than the Christian's cross. And every day it feeds 1% of the world's population. This is according to a footage from the movie called The Founders.